It's almost here. The tree is up, the house is decorated, and Bubba has a special present for all of you.
Oh boy.
Quiet, Jimmy, it ain't for you. Episode 37 features one of our youngest guests yet. He's definitely the luckiest, having won multiple of our giveaway contests. Dallas Tisue spent most of his childhood as one of the only white kids who wrestled for the East High MATPAC, until he transferred to Wapsie Valley after he and his mom made the decision to strategically relocate to Fairbank.
Good to have you, fella.
He almost let his fear of starting over and trying something new prevent that, but he overcame and is now one of the most outgoing, positive, upbeat student athletes in the area. Of course, these guys are going to talk some sports, NIL, and the Heisman Trophy race. But don't let his age fool you. Dallas has some strong opinions when it comes to racism, transgender, and furries? Oh boy. So, grab some eggnog and throw another log on that crackling fire, 'cause this episode is gonna be lit! Am I young enough to say lit? Maybe not, I don't know. Here's your host, Bubba Seaman!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. What is up? Welcome back for another episode of the best small town, real life, fastest growing podcast on the market. Yes, it's Christmas time, so you know I'm in a good mood. The house is all decorated inside, outside. We even got some lights up here in the basement down here. We do that just for those of you who are watching, because studies show that people want to watch in flawless high definition for some reason. I don't know. Dallas, wave to the camera. You're on. Look at that. There we go. So we did some of this decoration for you guys. For those of you that are really paying attention to our set, we've got some different things going on for the Christmas season. We got a Home Alone hat up there. If anyone notices that one, the red and white one says, "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal." We got Clark's Moose mug right here. And then, of course, we got right here, we have the Home Alone Lego set for the Home Alone house. That took Timothy, James, Grace, that took them days to complete. It is done. That's it. It's right there for your viewing pleasure. It opens up. It's very interactive. Find fun things like that to do around the holidays, man. Enjoy it. Don't dread the holidays. Enjoy them. If you haven't already, cruise on down to our end of West Main Street. Take a look at one of the best Christmas displays in town. Me and Grace worked really hard on the outside, so load up the family in the old front-wheel drive sleigh and come take a look. I'm the only guy, I think, to ever put out 3 nativity scenes in his front yard. You got to remember the reason for the season, folks. It ain't all about presents. St. Nick was a good guy, really good guy, but find out what he was all about. Okay? It'll point you in a certain direction, I promise you. If you like the lights, be sure and honk. Honk if you like them. I'm not sure how my neighbors feel about that, but, you know, Bellis's and the Rosses and Gene, yeah, they like the excitement too. So go ahead and honk if you like them. Before we get to today's episode and our special young guest, I got to remind everybody, whether you're listening or watching, do not forget to subscribe, follow, like, wherever you're listening or watching. Our big ones are Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Leave us a 5-star rating if you can. Click the bell to be notified about every new episode. They're usually every Friday, 5 a.m. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you like or dislike by leaving a comment. Let's get some action going on these sites, generate some traffic, okay? This is how we continue to grow and reach more people. Follow our Instagram and Facebook, guys. We're always doing stupid reels or giveaways, things like that. Share with your friends on your social media. I think Spotify Wrapped came out just recently, so I got this challenge out there. If we made your Spotify Wrapped like a top podcast in your Spotify Wrapped, post that on your social media and I will send you a prize. It could be a refrigerator magnet. It could be a diamond dart. It could be a fake tattoo. Who knows what it could be? It could be a hat, shirt. I don't know what it is. But post that on your social media and tag us in it and we'll send you something. Okay? But you don't got to just wait for free stuff. You can show off your impeccable taste by sporting some of our merch just because you want to, whether it's a shirt or a hat or whatever you want. Email us, whatisuppodcast@gmail.com. Tell us what you want and we'll hook you up. But then I also want a picture of you wearing our merch so I can post that as well. Okay. Once you've done all that, once you've done those things, then you can sit back and enjoy the show. And let me tell you, we got a good one for you today. I met today's guest, I'm guessing it was about 5 years ago, somewhere in there, maybe 5-6 years ago. He showed up to my church's Wednesday night youth group called Trek as part of our Awana Club. And I got a chance to work with him for a little while and get to know him a little bit. He's been a friend to my oldest son, Timothy, since way back then. And without getting too deep, that means something to me. Okay, because I remember high school. I remember the social politics of it. You know, you got your groups, you got your cool kids, your popular kids, your athletes, the super smart ones, and there's all kinds of others. But then there's the kids that really don't fit into any of those groups. You know, they're not up at the top in popularity. And I've admitted on this podcast and when speaking to teens, whether, you know, youth groups at church or sports teams or whatever, that there's one thing that stuck with me all these years, and that's how I kind of have some regrets about how I treated other kids when I was in high school. For every popular or overachieving student today, your accomplishments are great. I'm not going to diminish them one bit. But as you get older, I'm going to tell you those things begin to fade a little bit. It's how you treated those around you that are going to come back to your mind. That's what makes it so much easier for me to see when a kid in one of those coveted groups tries to treat his peers with kindness and respect. It's a rare thing. It's hard to do when you're kind of, you know, one of the top dogs in a small school. You know, most kids probably don't realize, but most of us parents are watching and listening and paying attention to how you guys interact. So make the most of it. Don't let yourself fall into that trap of putting yourself above others. Pride goes before the fall, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you. Do something good for others with if you've got one of those high places in the high school social hierarchy, do something good with it. Make some kid's day by talking to them, sitting with them at lunchtime, working with them in a school project or something like that. You know, treat them like you want to be treated. Crack a few jokes with them instead of at them. Just give them the time of day and realize that they have just as much value as you do. Even if it doesn't seem like it right now when you're in high school. Trust me, high school seems like everything right now because it's all you know. But once you get out of high school and your life really begins, you realize high school was just a period of growing up, and that kind of status that you had does not follow you into adulthood. It's done. It's over. As an adult, people don't care how cool or popular you were in high school. They care about how you treat people and how you get along with others. And you will too. Trust me, you will. Make the most of it now while you can. That's what is up. So without further ado, let's bring in one of our youngest guests of all time. Today's guest is a standout senior athlete at Wapsie Valley, currently crushing it on the wrestling mat. What'd you finish in the Chris Davis Invitational?
I got first yesterday.
That a boy. I love it. Love it. He's in a serious relationship with a college girl who is a member of her school's dance team. Is that not like every high school boy's dream? Is it? Is it not? She must be a catch because Aaliyah and my daughter Bridget are still friends today. He's the first kid I've ever heard of participating in high school football at a very high level. High school football and cross country simultaneously. That's tough to do. I hope we talk about that at some point. He is one of the OG original fans of the podcast from the early days of year one, and he's probably one of our luckiest fans, having won multiple giveaway contests. The kid is lucky, just lucky. Of course, I'm talking about Dallas Tisue. What is up, man?
What is up? I'm glad to be here.
Glad we could do it. So do you remember coming to our Awana Club years ago? Do you remember that?
I actually remember coming. I got a Awana book and stuff. And the one of the most times I remember is like coming and we were like play a game, like these games. Yeah. It was like a certain night and you get these big rings and you would like try to throw it on a pop per se. And like you would, if you get it, you would like take the pop home. I remember just coming the first ever time. I was like so nervous, telling my mom, I was like, Mom, I can't go there. I'm too nervous. And I believe there was a dunk tank one time outside, if I'm remembering right.
You are.
Yep. And then a couple cakewalks I remember going to.
Oh my goodness.
It was a great time.
So what you're talking about is our carnival. Shout out all of our old school leaders. Like Lynn Stout used to really head that up. It took a lot of us volunteers, but yeah, that's the year-end carnival where we do those games for prizes, the cakewalks, the dunk tank. I was in that dunk tank a lot. Oh man, I kind of forgot about that. I was more thinking of like when you came, to the group one night, just on a regular night, and I was kind of working with you. My one memory was, I think we had just started that age group, and so we were talking about something or whatever, and I usually when I talk or teach or whatever, I always ask kids questions as I go just to make sure they're paying attention. And so I'm asking questions or whatever, and Timothy explains this one answer or whatever, and you just go, "That a boy, Tim. I taught you right, son."
That's 100% something I would say.
It stuck with me, man. That was fun. I love that.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, it's cool that you found the podcast early on and you got in on some of those giveaways and you won them. I think you won enough that the last one you said, if I win, Bubba, you just pick what it is. Like, let everyone else get what they want. Whatever's left, I'll take it. That's fine. That's good.
I have a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. You probably actually spearheaded the interest of other high schoolers. Because I know I've talked to Mr. Davey before, and he told me, he goes, "Dude, I hear high schoolers talking about your podcast from time to time. So just know," I think he said, "you're moving the needle," which, that's a big compliment, because to grab a high schooler's attention, that's probably not the easiest thing to do, especially knowing that wasn't my target audience. But I'm glad, people like you got into it a little bit, and maybe it helped spread around the high school. So that's good. I really appreciate our younger fans and supporters, especially you guys from the very beginning. There was another one, Jake Shore. He bought our very first t-shirt. He was the first kid to actually buy a t-shirt, like not kid, just person, but he happened to be in high school at the time. Justin and Amber Decker, they not only bought shirts very early, a bunch of one for all of them, I think, and then Justin sent me a nice encouraging note early on. I'll keep that between us, but it's little things like that. Like, I'm old school. If you take the time to send somebody an email or a note, or just let somebody know you appreciate people don't take the time to do that anymore. So when somebody does that, or, I feel burdened to make sure and do that for someone else, that's a special thing. And to those, who maybe just have found us recently and you haven't been with us from the beginning, it encourages us to see our numbers grow every day. I check them every day, just make sure things are on the upward trend. If you see some of the stuff I posted about our Spotify Wrapped for Creators, you'll see our numbers grew incredibly this year. Big gains for sure. And I already put out the challenge out there. If we made it and you're Wrapped as one of your top podcasts, post about it, tag us in it, and you'll win a prize. So, but no matter what, we would love to hear from you guys, your feedback, opinions, specific episode, favorite episode, we want to hear about it. We want to hear from you. Not every episode may be your cup of tea. Some of you guys, you may really like what you hear today from Dallas, but you're only listening because it's Dallas today and you really don't care about any of our other episodes. That's fine. Just give us a shot. Every episode hits different, okay? Another guy that sent me something recently, Ben Hogan, and he said exactly that. He said, I don't know how long ago this was, but he said, your last 2 episodes really, really did him some good. And that's it. That was the extent of it, So that's kind of how it works. So I hope today's episode does the same thing. So let's get to it, shall we? Instead of me just rambling all the time. Dallas, tell us a little bit about yourself for those who might not know who you are, because we're in 33 states and 4 countries right now. So
I'm 18 years old. I go to Wapsie Valley. I'm a senior right now. I was in football and cross country. I'm participating in wrestling right now. And then after wrestling, I'll be in track. Basically, my childhood was a little bit about, it was just like me, my sister, and my brother and my mom. It was just us, pretty much my entire life. We used to actually live in Waterloo.
Okay.
I want to say like Lafayette Street, right across the park where we used to live when I was a little younger. This was like, I could barely walk, so like I don't really remember much. But my sister and brother did go to preschool in Waterloo schools. I do remember that. And then we actually moved to Dunkerton, where I spent from preschool all the way up to my 6th grade year there, and that was great. I was a little troublemaker. I would love to be a class clown and making jokes and stuff, but I've always been like really active in sports.
Okay.
Really, that's like been basically my whole life so far, just being sports. Like, I don't know what else there is to do, really, per se. Yeah, that's a little bit about me. And then I moved my 7th grade year to Wapsie. That's where everything like kind of changed in my life because I don't know, I was always at Dunkerton, never thought I would leave actually. And I remember coming, so I had to make a decision like my 7th grade year because Dunkerton never offered wrestling. So I was just like, I don't know what to do. I was like confused. My mom was like, well, you could, she always told me she would never let me go to East High for wrestling just because like, there's nothing bad about the school, but she just wanted to see the best for me per se. And I think at the time there was like Carter Littlefield was wrestling, but he would go to Dunkerton or Jessup. But he would still go to Dunkerton at the time. And I didn't really like that idea because like you're not going to school with your teammates, you're not building that like chemistry per se. So I tried it was the WWC MATPAC at the time. And I remember coming in, and I used to be scared. When I start something new, I know I'm like a big outgoing guy. You probably think I don't get nervous. I was terrified to walk in that room just because I don't know. Not that I'm a bad wrestler. I'm just like, I've never been around these people. Everything. Like, this is a whole new environment. I've always wrestled at Waterloo East MATPAC. So I've like seen these guys at tournaments. I was like, oh, Wapsie Valley, I don't want to go there. I don't like this school. So walking in was very intimidating in my opinion, but I met a lot of good people right away, I would say. Like Justin Decker and Kanan Decker, they welcomed me in pretty fast, and that's what helped me. And like Rhino Cox was in the room a lot at the time. And it was just a great environment. All the boys were very welcoming. So I was just at the MATPAC then. I still was going to Dunkerton, like just enjoying life. And then I remember sitting on my bunk bed in Dunkerton because I lived in Dunkerton. And I talked to my mom. I was like, I don't know if I want to keep wrestling. Like maybe I just want to hang the shoes up and just finish my life up in Dunkerton. Because I was too scared to start something new. Like, I didn't want to move to a different school, meet all new friends, and, like, start basically from fresh. And I would say the biggest reason why, like, what helped me, like, overcome that was trying the Wapsie Valley MATPAC and, like, actually realizing, like, oh, these guys aren't bad.
It's not as bad as you thought it was.
Yeah, like, it's easy. Not, like, easy, but, like, it's easier than I thought to, like, be welcomed in. It's not like, oh, you're the new guy, I don't want to talk to you. It's just like they're way welcoming, so that helped me there. Sure.
A lot of times we do kind of make things up into a bigger deal in our head, and it's like the thought of it is actually worse than actually going through with it. I moved a lot when I was little. We had one stretch where like every 4 years we moved to a different place. I mean, I grew up in a big city, so there's multiple. You move to a different side of the city, you go to a different school. And so I just learned as a new kid, you don't talk to people. So I can relate to exactly what you're saying. I always had fear. I just handled it by not talking to anybody. That's it. So yeah, basically I just kept wrestling, and I was like, I don't know. And then back to talking to my mom on my bunk bed. I was like, all right, Mom, I'll try this, because she loved me wrestling. She loved the sport, so she was like encouraging me to try just something new. Don't just give up something I've always done with my life. So I gave it a try, say, and then I think it took like a month or two for me. And then everyone was like, you should just come to Wapsie. You should just come to Wapsie. Oh, that makes it easier right there.
And I was like, oh, like they want me here. Like, that's like welcoming. And then I talked to my mom, and then she's like, yes, of course. And then I don't know the transfer stuff, how any of that worked. I was too young at the time. I was living my life, and my mom dealt with that stuff. And then I actually lived in Dunkerton for a while until we moved to Fairbank, and I was still going to Wapsie. I moved my 7th grade year, so it helped though, because everyone in the 7th grade class was new to the high school. So like the high schoolers didn't really know I was new. I mean, they did, but you're like, oh, who is this kid? Like, because all the 7th graders are new. You don't like really know any of them. Right,
because we're coming from Fairbank and Reedland, and then the high school is the central location for people who don't quite get how we do things.
Yeah, so that really helped. That played a big role in things.
Yeah.
And then I would say I think it was like my 8th grade year. We ended up buying a house in Fairbanks, just kind of by Casey's say. And then ever since, we've just been there.
Okay.
And yeah.
Nice. Yeah, those are formative years, man. That's a junior high. If you're not, I don't want to bag on anybody who's not in sports or anything, but when you say like that's all you did, a lot of kids, not every kid, but a lot of kids, if they're not involved in stuff, like they're either going to get into trouble, or they're going to, do absolutely nothing. Nothing. And but not every kid's an athlete, so I understand that. But you got to find some community, but it's got to be the right community. There's communities online and stuff out there that are preying on young people who don't have friends or sports or activities to be a part of. So stay away from that kind of community for sure. But yeah, I'm glad it all worked out.
Yeah, it was hard at first because actually when we lived in Dunkerton at the time, there was morning practices for wrestling at I'm saying 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
And my mom went to work and stuff. I forget where she worked at the time. But my sister was actually dating Cale Hubner that went to Wapsie at the time.
Okay.
And he was in high school and stuff, and he would go lift at the time.
Morning lift or?
Yeah, he would morning lift while I had wrestling practice. So thankfully, he would come and pick me up.
Okay.
And I remember every morning I get in his car, it would be freezing.
Yep.
For some, I don't know if he just hated me and didn't want to put the
turn the heat on,
the heat or the heated seats on for me because he had leather seats. So everyone knows getting in a cold leather seat sucks.
Yeah.
I just remember just sitting there freezing, didn't say a word. I'm half asleep. It's pitch dark outside.
Oh my goodness.
And then showing up to wrestling. Oh.
Yeah, that was when I first started hearing about kind of the programs, whether it's football or wrestling or. I'm like, yeah, you guys got to get up in the morning and do this stuff. Like, I'm working from home right now, and I get down here at 6, and JJ's alarm goes off because he's got to go lift. And I'm like, man, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
It does take sacrifice. If you want to be competitive in wrestling, in football, if you want to go out, win a few games, get your name called over the PA, and that's good enough, go 3-6, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
But not at Wapsie.
No, that is not the Wapsie tradition.
You're going to put in a little bit of extra work that most kids aren't willing to do. So I commend you guys for doing that.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if I could have done it.
Yeah, it was hard, me being a little kid. But now thinking about it, I kind of like the idea. Like, you get to go home at 3:18 and just have the rest of the day.
Yeah, because you did morning.
Yeah, it's just like, whoa. And, I don't know. My whole high school career, I've never just left school and go home. And I don't know what kids do after school. I've never experienced that. Every time I get done, it's either 5:30, 6, 7 per se.
Yeah.
And in the winter months, it's dark outside.
Yep, it's dark by 5.
And then you're tired, you go home, eat, and
Yeah, I hear you. Well, let's talk a little bit about high school football this year. Let's move into high school. I had the privilege of talking to you guys before the season started, the night before the opening game, and I appreciate Dwayne asking me to come and speak, and I really appreciated some of you guys that came up to me afterwards because, your generation gets a bad rap. Oh, they don't make eye contact. They don't talk. They don't know how to respect older people, all this kind of stuff. To some degree that's true, but that's been true down the line. It's not your generation. It was my generation too,
Yep.
But it was really cool having a few of you guys come up and say, thanks for talking. And Kanan even sent me a message afterwards saying thanks for speaking. Some of the guys were talking about it afterwards, just to let you know. So it obviously hit home. So I want your honest feedback.
Yep.
Good or bad, whatever you think. How was the speech? Did it hit you at all?
Yeah, I would say it was actually really good because us seniors going in there it's our first game. We have Jess up. We weren't really thinking about it. And, having that speech was whoa, really eye-opening. And, don't take this for granted. Not everyone can do this. Not, this is your last game. Don't just be oh, it's another game. Oh, I got to do this. You only have guaranteed 8 games. You need to, focus in and don't take it for granted. And most kids don't have a opportunity. So I think it really hit home.
Good.
And you were it wasn't like you were up there like talking like this. You like made it everything like related to us.
Sure.
Like you were like, oh, this, and like we're like, oh, we know what you mean. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we can relate with that. So that really helped too.
Yeah. Oh, whenever. That's always the word. I do the same thing if I'm preaching. Like, you've got to make it relate to people.
Yes.
If you can't make it real world relate to people, whether it's young people or whatever, dude, you're going to lose them right away.
Yep.
And I lost a few. I saw a few eyes nod, not from you up front, but, you know, some of the kids in the middle. I'm not going to name names, but, oh, believe me, I remember.
Yep.
And if I get invited to speak again, I will probably single you out, but that's okay. We'll do it in fun. But good. Yeah, it was a heck of a season. So we talked a little bit about... in our notes back and forth trying to get your episode ready. We talked a little bit about, and I've talked on the podcast about it, how Wapsie football I think it's after the player introductions or whatever. It's either that or national anthem or something. I think it's after the introductions.
Yeah.
You guys all run over to like the 30-yard line or something like that.
Yep.
And you guys pray.
Yes.
And so I talked about that a little bit in my speech, how that's absolutely your God-given right to do that, whether you go to public school or not. Public school, your coach can't lead the prayer.
Nope.
Student-led,
Yep.
a lot of people, I've heard people in the stands question that, like, oh, I can't believe they're still allowed to do that. And so, you know, I try and have those conversations like they're absolutely allowed to do that. As long as it's student-led, you can bring your Bible to school, you can do biblical topics for projects, you can do all kinds of different things, and especially student-led prayer. So give me a little insight on that. Like what are you guys... What's going on when you do that? Who leads it? Who determines who leads it? What are you praying for? Give me whatever you want to give me.
Yeah, so basically, I don't know. You've been watching Wapsie football for a while, and my whole life I've seen those varsity guys out there do it. So I think it's more of a tradition.
Sure, okay.
They're like, oh, those freshmen coming up, those sophomores coming up, like you're gonna go there, and then they're doing that. So you just carry it on.
Sure, okay.
But the thing is, like, the thing I was really praying for this year, and, like, I know most of the team was, just to be, like, grateful to be there, per se. Like, not every kid, like, you talk about, like, Carson McGrane and Grant Fink from Dunkerton that got in the horrific car accident. Like, those two kids, those are just the two kids I know, but there's hundreds of thousands or more that aren't able to go on that Friday football night and play football. Like, don't take this for granted. Like, we're here. Let's play. And like just praying that no one gets hurt. Like you don't want the other team to get hurt. People are like, oh yeah, you want this guy to get hurt. Like no, I just want to play the game and Wapsie wins.
And win, yeah.
Like I want you guys to go home safely. I want us to go home safe. Like just praying to everyone goes home safe, and obviously praying for Wapsie to win.
Okay.
But the thing I do before, I actually never said this. Before every game, any event, football, wrestling, track, cross country, anything. So my dog died when it would have been 3 years ago, and I have his ashes in my room, and I'd go over and put my hand on him every day, not every day, but every time before sporting event or a match or something. It's just like, buddy, I'm here for you, look over me, and I'm doing this for you today.
Oh.
And yeah, basically just praying for him to look over me. And I can't say what the other guys pray for, but I know everyone's praying for the same thing. Or like,
so it's not an out loud vocal.
No,
it's a quiet.
Yeah. Oh, we pray for. So I think it's Garrett Miller that says Our Father, and then everyone goes in His heaven, etc.
The Lord's Prayer.
Yep, the Lord's Prayer.
Okay.
And then after there's like 4 to 5 seconds, depends how rowdy we are and how excited we are to get on the field. You just think of something in your head. Like mine is like, thank you, look over me, I'm doing this for Duke, because that's my dog's name, and that's just like what motivates me, like every single day. Okay. And that was my little quick like thought in my brain.
I gotcha.
And then we just start getting crazy.
All right. I like it. I like it's a tradition. Prayer is always good. You always pray to God for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's definitely nice.
Good.
Other teams, I don't know what they think about it, but
well, look, it's a good thing. Praying's never a bad thing. You pray to God. It's a good thing. I said, hopefully you guys are praying more for, praying for victory is fine. Everyone wants to win. That's why you play. The Bible says run the race in such a way that you win. Yep. It says people are going to compete and there's going to be one victor. But that's more talking about in life. We're talking about salvation. We're talking about getting to heaven. But yes, you want to win, but I was kind of hoping, you guys were praying for just everyone be healthy, play to the top of your ability, no one get hurt, that kind of stuff. That's good. But that's nice that you put that quiet time in there too, because maybe not everyone believes the same, but I like it. I look around and I'm just like, why is it such a shock? Because what do we see if you pay attention? What do you see after every professional football game?
Yeah.
You see a group of players from both teams come together, players, coaches, whatever. Wapsie has that tradition where the parents will all kind of wait or whatever.
Yep. There's
nothing to say that if you players wanted to pray after the game, us parents could absolutely join you in that.
Yep.
It doesn't matter that it's on the football field, which is school property. Prayer is a good thing. When they took prayer out of school, who do you think kind of moved in?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A certain way of thinking. So prayer is always a good thing. But the main point of it is, like, it's nice to know you're not just doing it for show.
Yes.
Because the Bible is clear about it. God doesn't want that vain repetition. It wants it to mean something. If the Lord's Prayer isn't for you, if you don't even understand what Jesus is saying, as that model prayer right there, then prayer is just talking to God, so you can make it your own thing, your own communication with him, make it mean something. That's always good. Yeah, there's a lot of, it seems like more nowadays, now that I'm on Instagram, the algorithm, how do you say that? Algorithms, it notices what you like. So it suggests things for me. And so, like, I'm getting all kinds of different athletes, whether it's Brock Purdy or CJ Stroud or younger college athletes, even high school athletes. I'm going to mention these kids at the end of the episode, these 3 high school wrestlers, they're called the 3-in-1 trilogy. They're always putting faith stuff out there and intertwining it with their wrestling passion. It's really good stuff. And it's a good influence on younger people, because now you're a senior. Yep. You got to realize now younger people have been looking to you, at a certain point, whether you realize they're watching or not, so they see those things, and that's probably why that tradition of praying before football games continues to carry on. So it's always good. So obviously, you're doing well in wrestling right now. You said you just took first yesterday at the Chris Davis Invitational, and all that stuff's going good. You got track coming up after that, and then that's going to be it for high school. What's plans after high school?
My plans for after high school, as of right now, I'm actually I haven't signed, but I've told a coach at Grandview University, where my girlfriend goes to college.
Oh, what a coincidence. Nice.
Yeah, in Des Moines. I plan on running track there
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm excited to do that, and I think I'm going to study criminal justice.
Oh, nice. That's my world, man.
Yeah, like, you just see those, like, TikToks per se, because I'm the younger generation. I'm on social media a lot, that, like, the cops, or do something, or people bash the cops, or there might be bad cops.
Yeah.
But there's good cops too.
Yep.
And I don't want to be like that person that just complains about them. Like, go do something about it. And if
I like it.
And if I can do something about it, like, I know right away I'm just going to be a donut eating cop, people say. And I'm okay with that, because I'm going to work my way up.
Sure.
So I can be like a detective or a chief or something that I can, like, I just want to make, not like the cops be like, the bad cops, or like, the cops are this, the cops are, like, everyone's talking about the bad cops. Mm-hmm. Like, no one's ever talking about the good cops.
Yep.
And I just want to change that. I don't want to just sit there and be like, really? I don't like this. Okay, you can't do nothing about it. So why not I do something about it?
Sure.
And actually, I can complain about it, but I can do something too.
Yeah.
Like,
I like it.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of options in that field too. As you get going, you can do all kinds of different things. Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting you to say that
for
after high school. So. Okay, Grandview with the girlfriend, criminal justice, and run track.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be fun, and especially the summer. This summer will be fun, because, like, every other summer I've been with football every day in the mornings, and then we have 7-on-7s, and like, that stuff is fun. Like, I love football. But like, it's going to be a little different. I'm just going to be working at Red Rock Farms every single day, hanging out with the friends, hanging out with the girlfriend, because she'll be home.
Okay.
So it'll be entertaining. I'm hoping to go on some trips this summer. I don't know where to or what, but lately I've been like, I want to travel. Like, I'm young. I want to
see some stuff.
Yeah, because I'm finally 18. So I'm actually going to hopefully soon get my passport. Don't ask me where I'm going because I have no idea.
Oh, that kind of travel.
Yeah, I want to travel.
Oh, I thought you meant like go see a Cubs game.
No. I want to travel. My cousin actually yesterday, I haven't even told my mom this. He was like, Dallas, you're 18 now. Would you kind of want to go to Costa Rica this summer?
Oh, my goodness.
I'm like, dude, seriously? Like, I'm 18 years old. I don't know about that. I mean, I'd have to ask my mom. But, like, I'm always down. I love traveling. I don't know.
Wow.
I've been on a lot of cruises in my life. Like, every 2 years we go on a cruise with my family.
Okay.
And, like, you don't need a passport to those. And I just, like, I don't know. I like the idea of traveling, but you got to have money to travel.
Sure.
So.
Well, you're going to earn some of that this summer. There you go. Wow. Man of the Globe, Dallas Tisue. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Anything else you want to add to that part? If not, we're going to move into your segments.
Trying to think what I'm going to do this summer and next year. Yeah. I mean, I'm scared. I mean, I'm moving to 2.5 hours away from my family. And the only person I have there right now is Aaliyah, my girlfriend. And I think I have some, like, family friends that live down there if I really need something.
Yeah.
So that's the scary part. But I mean, I'm a very outgoing person.
You're going to do just fine.
Yeah, I'm going to meet people. I have no roommates. I actually have, like, one guy that's been texting me right now. He's going to be on the baseball team next year. And I think he wants to be my roommate.
Okay. But
we do not want to be in a dorm. We want to be in, there's, like, suites there that you can get for freshmen. Okay. So basically, Aaliyah's in one right now. So there's dorm on this side with 2 people in it, and then there's a living room space, and then the other side there's another door, and then there's 2 more beds in there, and then there's a bathroom, and it's super nice. The dorms are like kind of crusty per se, like
that's Gen Z slang.
So like I don't know. I just do not want to live in a dorm, but hopefully we'll meet some other kids before then. Yeah. We will, but.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you'll be just fine. Yep. You will be just fine. It'll all work out. That's good. That's good. All right, let's move into your segments. Right. You picked this or that. You said, how about that one where you asked me to pick between stuff? And I was like, hey, I know exactly what you mean. So, okay, this or that. And for the audience, I feel like you guys have all been saying, man, you need to change your segments up. You need to get some new stuff. I'm always trying to come up with new stuff. So for this or that, guess what I was doing yesterday? I was putting in some new ones. So we're going to lead with some of those, and I'm going to leave off some of the old ones, okay? Music or podcasts?
Okay. All right. So I like both. I really do like both. But, like, going to school or, like, some mornings I do listen to podcasts, but mostly I just, like, put on music and just drive. But, like, depending on the mood, I do listen to your podcast. That's the only podcast I've ever listened to is your podcast, honestly. So I would probably say both. Okay. But, like, before a meet or something, I listen to music.
Yeah. Gotta be music. Yep. Okay. Fruits or vegetables?
Fruits.
Cash or card?
I would have to say cash because when at the beginning of my, like, relationship, I would be too scared to swipe my card because I'm like, oh my god, what if it declines, right? So, like, always having cash is like, my cash isn't declining,
guaranteed.
But now it's like I'm older, so I just use my card.
Yeah, okay. City life or rural?
City.
Okay. Yeah. Text or phone call?
Depends on the person. If I'm comfortable with the person, I would say call. But if I'm nervous to what to say, I would have to do text. For now.
Okay. Let's see. Driver or passenger?
I'm a horrible driver.
It's good you can admit it.
I'm a horrible driver, so I like the passenger. You have no worries. You just take a nap if you want to. Be on your phone if you want to.
Okay. iPhone or Android?
I'm an iPhone guy.
Okay. Waffles or pancakes?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Waffles right now because it just sounds good to me.
All right. Rain or snow?
Rain.
Love or money? What is more important to Mr. Worldwide Dallas Tisue, love or money?
That's a hard one. I mean, it shouldn't be hard, but the world we live in is money, money, money. But I would say love.
Attaboy.
You got to have love. And then if you have love, you'll make the money. And you can't live life without love, in my opinion.
There. I'll take that second statement. If you got love, you don't care about the money so much anymore.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Let's see. What else we got for some new ones? Coke or Pepsi?
Neither, actually.
Neither. You're not a soda guy.
But...
or don't say like Mountain Dew.
I like Dr. Pepper. I love
Dude,
Dr.
I'm so
Pepper.
glad you said this. I got hooked last night. I don't watch a lot of reels. I don't. The only social media I do is for the podcast. And this one popped up for me because I get into the cooking stuff.
Yep.
And Grace is really into bacon. So if I see something that I like, I'll send it to her. This lady, she said, Christmas Dr. Pepper. And I'm like, okay, I'm all things Christmas. That's why I got the red and green flannel on. I mean, that's why I am who I am.
Yeah.
She puts the ice in the cup, about 3/4 full of Dr. Pepper, and then the last like quarter, maybe even less than a quarter, eggnog.
Ooh.
And I've seen a lot of people doing this. They're making their drinks like creamy by adding, coffee creamer to soda or different things. And so this was Dr. Pepper and eggnog, and they call it Christmas Dr. Pepper. I had two of them. Two of them. It was that good.
Oh my gosh.
I loved it. I'm going to have one as soon as we're done.
Oh my! I've never had eggnog, actually. Thinking about it, I don't think so.
I don't know if. For me, you got to cut it with milk.
Yep.
It's just too thick, straight up. It really is.
Yeah.
Okay. So for all the audience, try it. Christmas Dr. Pepper. It's good stuff. Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Milk chocolate.
Okay. I realize this one's all wrong. It's Facebook or Instagram, but obviously you're going to choose the third, aren't you?
Snapchat?
No. You already said TikTok.
Oh, yeah, TikTok. Yep, I live my life off TikTok.
Okay.
Yep, I'm on Facebook to look at Marketplace. I will say that.
There you
but
go.
I don't go scrolling on Facebook to see.
Because you're too young.
Yeah, I don't really care per se, unless there's something like an athlete or something on Facebook that I need to see.
Okay, I'll give you a couple of the older ones. Cracker Barrel or Waffle House. Now, have you been to either or both or no?
I think I've been to a Waffle House. I've never heard of the other one.
Cracker Barrel?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Okay, so in your travels, man, as you start getting around, start looking for where there's Cracker Barrels and Waffle Houses.
All right.
Cracker Barrel's awesome. They got like the old time country store on the front. Oh man, it's just good. old school country decoration, fireplace. It's awesome. Waffle House, can't beat it either. So, okay, weights or cardio?
Ooh, I enjoy cardio more than weights, yes.
Okay.
But weights, like for like football and stuff, is good. But I enjoy doing cardio more.
Okay. All right. And the most controversial one, this one's going to determine whether we continue or not. Over or under with the toilet paper and paper towels?
I go under.
You gotta be kidding me.
I do.
Why?
I don't know.
Why do you want to reach like behind it or underneath?
I don't know. It's just
No. Oh my gosh, we're on two different pages. When you hang it on the roll. Okay, you're talking toilet paper wiping.
So what are you talking about?
When you hang it on the roll.
Okay.
Do you want the paper to be over?
Okay.
Some people put it on backwards, in my opinion, and it hangs like out the back, down the bottom. So it's over or under. On your episode, I'll insert the graphic so everyone can know again, but just think about how paper towel and toilet paper sits on the roll. Do you want it so when you go to grab it, it's laying across the front, which makes the most sense? Or do you want it opposite of that where it's hanging out the back and you got to kind of reach forward or reach underneath
I think I don't want to reach like that.
There.
Yeah, no.
Yes, that makes no sense, does it?
That makes no sense.
Yes.
But think about it, I don't really know. That's my mom's job.
It is. But as you go Mr. College, no one's going to be putting that toilet paper on there for you.
Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah, that's always a good one. So, that's fun. All right. I can't believe you went that way.
I thought we were going a different way with that.
That's good stuff. That's real life. We claim to be a real life podcast. That's real life. Okay. So we didn't have anything for snitch on yourself, right? That was a new one I threw in there that you really didn't have anything. So
besides like me going like on Christmas, like going to sneak in like my presents and like tearing it, I'd actually used to tear it and then just like put the tape back on it.
Oh, yeah.
And just run upstairs.
Yeah. You ever get caught?
Nope.
No,
never
that's
got caught.
why you're kind of snitching on yourself now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did that once too. Asked my wife about it. My mom yelled at me while my girlfriend was there. It was pretty embarrassing. Who does that in high school? Okay. All right. Getting to know you segment. We're going to move kind of quicker through these. If you could meet anyone in the world, who would it be, now or in history of all time?
I would say the one person I would meet is Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, the actor, the comedian?
He's funny.
He is funny.
Yeah.
He is funny. What would you do if you had $1 billion?
I would 100% buy my mom a house, make sure she's stable.
Nice.
And I would probably buy a nice car and just keep going to work. I would never stop working. I mean,
right.
I don't know. I need to do something.
Yep.
But I'd make sure that's the first thing I'm doing, make sure my mom's right.
I like it. There you go. Dream job, worst job?
Worst job would probably be like a garbage man or something. That would just sounds awful. And it's too cold. I hate the cold. One thing about me.
They don't get off days, man.
No.
You go.
So whatever I do, I just hope I'm not in the cold every single day. And the best job or my dream job would probably be some head corporate on in a police department or something.
Okay.
Or like the FBI or the U.S. Marshals.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice. Christmas music, yes or no? In or out, man?
I don't really listen to Christmas music. I mean, the jingle song, Jing Jing, I don't know what that song's called.
So Christmas Eve at your house, Christmas Day at your house.
Yeah.
What do you hear in the background? What's
my mom, we have Alexa, and my mom, plays some type of music. I think it's like Christmas carols or something.
There you go. Yeah, she's got my vote. All right. Christmas movies?
The one Christmas movie I would say it was like the little kid and the family left him. Like they went on a trip and they left him
Alone.
Home Alone.
Bro, yes.
Yeah, that's my favorite one by far.
That's good.
That's awesome.
That come out when I was like 9 or 10 years old, man, the first
Yeah.
one. It's awesome. Doesn't get old. Real tree or fake tree?
We have 2 fake trees.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll look past that. That's fine.
We've just always had them.
Yep. They're nice.
Yeah.
Most embarrassing moment or dumbest thing you ever did? You want to come clean about
My
anything?
most embarrassing moment. So somehow, and I don't really remember all the details, but when I went to Dunkerton, I want to say 2nd grade. And I went to the bathroom and somehow I came back and there's like poop on my chair or something. Something crazy. And I was like, what the heck? To this day, I swear to God, I don't think I pooped myself. And I'm just like confused. And then my teacher puts out, because I stepped in it. I stepped in it on my shoes.
Oh my God.
So I'm walking, I'm wobbling, and my teacher puts a towel out in the hallway. And I'm just standing there. And it was like we had this thing that you go to a different classroom at the end of the day. So everyone's walking in the hallway talking about it. And I'm just embarrassed.
Wow, that might be the worst one anyone's ever said.
Yeah, today that's the worst thing. It was so embarrassing. I don't know if anyone else remembers that, but I still remember it to this day.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know if I would have recovered from that. Good thing you were outgoing, because me being so introverted, I would have never had another friend the rest of my life. Okay, hidden talent or something most people don't know about you? You got anything you can do or some surprising fact that people just don't?
But people probably don't know about me. They probably see me and be like, oh, he's an athlete. Oh, he's the most popular kid. Like, oh, he don't care about. Like, you get those people that are cocky. But I really do. I hate seeing I'm not gonna say this name, but actually at the wrestling duel, I seen this kid. He's not popular. He's just a kid that goes to school.
Sure.
And then there was my buddies that came on the basketball team, and then some just don't do sports that are sitting in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, I wish they would just go over there and ask him hey, come sit by me, because he was just sitting in the doorway. And I really care, and I don't like seeing people left out.
Yeah.
And I just hate that. That's the one thing. And people are like, oh, don't sit with me at lunch, because that happens in Wapsie Valley.
Yeah.
There's a kid that just sits by himself, or people are being mean to him. I'm like, dude, it's not worth it. Just it's 15-20 minutes in lunch. Who cares?
Yep.
That's one thing about me.
Well, that's good that you care about that. I've told my kids that That's important. That is like what you think is cool now.
Yep. Yeah.
It actually means nothing.
Yep.
Like if you do take that time, if you got enough confidence in yourself being, Mr. Popular, Mr. Athlete, if you got enough confidence in yourself to buck the high school political social system and be like, I'm hanging with this guy.
Yep. My freshman and sophomore year, that probably never crossed my mind. Yeah. Just because, I don't know, I was young.
Well, you got to grow.
Yeah.
It takes maturity to think that way.
Senior year, that's really when it opened my eyes. Good. It's like, dude, come on. Like, let's not be jackwagons to this kid. Like, we don't know what he's going through at home. Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot more mental issues going on in your day than in my day. So, yeah, that stuff's got to run through your mind. Man, think about what you can do for somebody, not how you can put them down. Okay, let's see. If you could delete one thing from the world, what would it be?
One thing, racism. That's the one thing I would delete. I just hate when people are, oh, he's black, he's white, he's Caucasian, anything. Yeah. Like, that's just like, I don't know. I have like, my family's mixed, actually. Okay. Like, not like mixed in but like racial things. Like my mom's side, I have black cousins. And then my dad's side, I have white cousins, white family, all white people. Okay. And then like, cause I grew up like just, I love everyone. Everyone loves everyone. Like, sure. And then you moving to Wapsie, I was like, it really opened my eyes. Like, oh my gosh, like I didn't think people like really like talk like this and like use slang. And like, I don't know, racism, I hate it. That's just one thing I wish I could change. But that's just a thing. It will always be here.
It will.
Yeah, like that's the sad thing about it. Like, you can't end. You can shorten it, but you can't end it. Like, there's people's opinions.
And it has. If I mean, we're both too young to understand, but in the 60s when the civil rights movement came, that started the downward trend of racism because it was very high back then. Yep. Now you start having, black people can have some success and there's a much. So here's one problem with the generation now. The people that are saying we haven't done enough to go to pay back or whatever. Well, isn't that you're kind of bringing racism back up? You're saying now we have to look at these people a certain way. Yeah. Whereas my whole childhood, growing up in bigger schools or whatever, till I moved to Dunkerton, I recognized there were black people. I recognized there were scummy white kids and black kids that would treat you wrong. Yeah. We just didn't. Yeah. Unless you teach a kid to see someone as lesser, they're not going to grow up and see them as lesser. You probably didn't think anybody you wrestled with growing up at East High was any less than you. Yeah. You don't. But when you have critical race theorists, they're kind of putting that divide back in, and we got to get rid of that. And that's the perfect statement. You'll never get rid of it totally. Yeah. But you can definitely train up your kids the right way. Everyone has value in God's eyes. You shouldn't see it that way. Definitely. Yeah,
East High, any little photos or anything, you'd see me. You're like, who's that little white boy just in there? Like, what is he doing there? Yeah. But I don't know.
Look, my kids, they'd always said when they heard I was from the South or whatever, that every movie they had seen, I want to say it was Bridget thought this. Maybe she can correct me. But every movie she saw that talked, that was set in the South or whatever, always had black people in it. So she just grew up thinking my family was black.
Oh my gosh.
She didn't figure it out till like junior high or whatever, but yeah that's good stuff. I love it. Okay. How the turntables, anything we've talked about or any question or anything up to this point, do you want to turn that on me or do you want to move on to the What Is Up segment?
I'll do the turntables after the What Is Up.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because I have a couple that I was like, I want to hear your opinion.
Oh my goodness! Look at this guy.
Because I'm young, you're like not old, but like you're a different generation. Yep. So I just want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. Yeah. What Is Up segment? Final segment. We got some good stuff in here. We were originally going to record the night. The afternoon of before the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul Netflix debacle type thing. So we had that on here. It said tonight's Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight. What's your whole thought on how that went down, or the whole Jake Paul boxing events, all that stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's just, it's like, at first I was like, oh my God, dude, Jake Paul might just die out there. Like, it's Mike Tyson. But, like, watching the fight, like, how Mike Tyson fought, like, yes, I know he's old, but I think he was holding back a lot. People are like, I don't think, some people say it's rigged, but I was like, I don't think Mike Tyson would do that.
Yeah.
But for the money, I don't know, because they made millions off that fight. Yeah. Like, Jake Paul's outfit was, like, $1.2 million he posted on TikTok. And, like, this guy was just making YouTube videos about going to Disneyland, and now he's fighting Mike Tyson. Yeah. And, like, I don't know. I don't want to say it was rigged, per se, but, like, I don't know.
Some of it looked a little weird. The training videos that Mike Tyson put out, I was like, holy cow, this guy's awesome. And then I find out that sometimes they speed up those training videos. And I'm like, you play it at like 1.5, so it looks like he's throwing combos like he's 20.
Yep.
And he really didn't in the fight. But there were, if you slow down the fight, you do see moments where he could have came over the top and cracked him. And he didn't. He like pulled it way short or didn't even throw the punch. So, and I'm like, I think but dude, if they get caught rigging something like that, because now there's gambling on that. It's a sanctioned bout. Then they go to prison for rigging it. So I would just say I don't think either of them wanted to risk rigging it. But.
Yeah, and that's their records and like Mike Tyson's record. Jake Paul probably don't like. He cares about it. Jake Paul is just there to, I don't know, stir the pot.
It's entertainment.
Yeah,
it's entertainment.
And that's what he's done his whole life was entertainment.
Yep.
Mike Tyson's been fighting for his entire life.
Right.
Not just for the YouTube or the viewers.
Right. Right. No, I got you. Okay, let's how about the transfer portal, NIL, that kind of stuff, its effects on college football. What do you, as a younger person, what do you, has that stuff been good, bad, long overdue?
Yeah, the NIL, I think it plays a big difference in college football. I think, yes, those players deserve to get some type of money.
Right.
But like, you look at, like, Travis Hunter and stuff, like, making $2 million. Like, dude, are you serious right now? You're, like, 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
Playing college football, making that. And, like, I think it has a big difference because, like, you're, like, those kids, like, I know how we think. We want money. Yeah. Like, so I think that's going to, like, persuade them in a way to where they, to what college they pick.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, not all colleges pay the same NIL. That's just not how it is.
Nope.
So, like, that's going to, and, like, if you see, like, those transfers and, like, oh, I'm going to make more money here and still play the same, I don't care. Like, I'd rather do that. Like, the money, seriously? This is how the world is nowadays. Like, they're not going to be like, oh, this coach is awesome, man. Like, my best friend goes here. I'm going to stay here.
Yeah. That stuff don't matter as much.
But then you see that 200,000 more if you could just transfer here. Yeah. Like, that plays a big role. Big role.
Everyone's always known they probably should get more than just scholarship.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But it really does come down to now who's got the richest boosters around them. You know, you can get the best players or whatever. That's tough.
Yeah, you get Nike deals, Adidas deals, anything.
I think we're going to see it change. I think in the next 5 years or so, we're going to see maybe some guardrails put on it, possibly, or something. Because now it's there. Now you just got to figure out what's the best way to do it.
Because you're going to get those kids that, I don't want to go to the NFL. I want to stay here as long as I possibly.
Oh, I can be done. Yeah. There's no need to go to the NFL.
Yeah. I just made enough to live my whole life. I don't need to go to the NFL and work my butt off for more money.
Yeah.
Because that's not, like,
possibly get hurt or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. Okay. What is up with furries? What's going on with that? That is not a my generation thing. That is a your generation thing.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. That's the first thing I'll say.
Okay.
It should not be okay. The parents need to put a hammer to the nail right away.
Okay.
In my opinion. Like,
sure.
That's just ridiculous. It's a he or she. That's all there is.
Okay.
And then you look at those, like, sometimes, I don't know if you've seen it, but some bathrooms has they or whatever it is nowadays. And then you see, like, those TikToks about people pooping and peeing in kitty boxes.
Yeah, litter boxes.
Yeah. Like, that's ridiculous. This is not the world this world's coming to. It's weird. Like, and then those people that are at restaurants, he called me a he or she called me a she.
Misgendering,
Like, that's ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry. Hey, sir. I was actually on the cruise ship, and I don't know when I went on it. It would have been last school year in, like, the spring or something. No, spring break.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, sir, for some reason, because, like, I needed something or he was working. He's like, please don't use that. That's not my pronoun. I'm like, oh, my God. That was the first time I've ever, like,
wow.
That's the only time I've ever had it, like, in person. I mean,
right.
I'm like, yep, you're weird. And
it's real when you see it, yeah.
I'm just like, holy cow, like, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't know who created this, who, like, started this, but I hope it comes to an end, because that's not okay.
That's I would tell you asked the right question. How did we get here? How did it start? You start, just do a little bit of research and find out who are the people behind some of these gender ideologies. And real quickly, whether you're for it or against it, whatever,
for sure,
just find out, where did it come from? You know, start looking up people like Alfred Kinsey and the people that are behind some of this sexual gender confusion stuff. And you're like, oh, I'm listening to this guy. I'm going off of some of his research and his papers and find out what some of their studies were and how they molested kids. And it's none of it's good.
Yeah,
but they all frame it in, it's compassionate though. It's compassionate. You're right. Yeah. Hit the nail on the head right away. Yep. No, if kids are confused, help them through the confusion. Don't affirm the confusion. You never do that. Kids don't call the shots.
Yeah.
There is absolute truth. There is absolute gender. Yeah. Kids can't be animals, all that stuff. You can handle this in a loving way, but sometimes loving means, speaking truth.
Yeah.
And what is up with society today when we say we can't do that?
And I mean, I bet you it's a bigger problem like bigger schools. Like, well, obviously we don't see it, so like I'm not like around it, but TikTok and stuff, it's like, are you serious right now? This is what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
When you're talking about the gender stuff and the pronoun thing, like you said on the cruise, okay, all of a sudden it was there. It was real for me because I saw it. Mm-hmm. And it's one thing to see videos on the internet. That's one thing, seeing people get in trouble. And then you start thinking about how would you handle that situation? Obviously it looks like a guy, but they're trying to present it as a woman, whatever. When I went to Bridget, I went to that you and I like orientation day or whatever, where the parents go with the kids. And that was the first time I had seen or heard any of it. I'm sitting at a table with Bridget and Ryan, and all the people that were in charge of it that day, they get up and they start introducing themselves, because it's a day-long thing. You're going to be doing all this stuff. And clearly I can tell who is who, male and female. But as they introduce their names, they also say he, him, they. And I didn't get it. I mean, so this has been a few years ago now. Now I understand what they were doing. They're just kind of signaling. Clearly, Angela is a girl, but she says she, her. And I'm like, well, why does she say that? And it's like, because they're just virtue signaling that they're with the trans community. They're just making, and I'm like, but you're creating something that doesn't need to be there. And it was weird for me. It kind of like the light bulb went off when you see it in your face. It's like, okay, this thing is real. It's weird. And you got to understand what you believe, why you believe it, and just how to respond in the right way. That's any issue. You can be I got a slide that I show on the podcast all the time that says, just because I disagree with you doesn't mean I hate you. Yeah. But that's what your generation is being told. You can't disagree or you're the enemy. And that's not the way it ever used to be. You can have difference of opinion. You can come on a podcast, talk about it, and walk away just fine. Yeah. But there's a way to handle that kind of stuff with love. But if you come across people that, if you don't bow down to them or what they think or what they believe or what their reality is, if you're the enemy, because there's nothing you can do. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Say sorry about that, but I haven't shopped at Target for years because they started doing that trans bathroom policy. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not going to let my daughters or my wife go into a bathroom where a guy who thinks he's a girl, or because some of this stuff does come down to like being predators. Yeah. Some of it's real confusion. I get it. And people need some help, but some people take advantage of that. I'm not Target. If you're going to let that kind of stuff happen, and it has happened, multiple cases across the country, well, I can't go to your store. I can't shop in your store if you're going to put girls and women in danger because of a minute few people, that have a mental condition. So there's a proper way to handle it. Yeah. Sure.
And you can't just go and like, oh, all right. Just okay. Don't
bring more hate to the situation.
It's just more stuff the world is going through, and like more people like, oh, I don't like you because you don't agree with this. It's just
agree
dumb.
to disagree and move on.
Yeah.
As time plays out, the stuff will run its course.
Yep.
And I'm already seeing it. The stuff that I follow, the research that I do, the hospitals that I follow that are shutting down these clinics for young people.
Yeah.
We were told a few years ago, this is the way to do it. If you don't affirm this, kids are going to kill themselves. Well, maybe there's a third way. Maybe there's a way to help them mentally through this. And then you come to find out a lot of these clinics are shutting down because the surgeries they're doing and the cross-sex hormones, it's not helping them.
Yep.
It's hurting them. And then the young girls want their top surgery undone. Well, they can't put them back.
Nope.
But because your parent let you as a 13-year-old dictate that, now you got to live with that. No, we'll get back to reality. It's already turning, man. It is. It's turning. So
yep. I agree with
that's
that.
good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can have serious conversation, Mr. Outgoing, Mr. High School, but yeah, that was good. Way to wrap it up with some serious stuff.
Yeah. I did want to add one.
Sure.
What do you like the Heisman this year? I don't know if you follow it. Yeah. I think Travis Hunter has it. The Heisman this year.
So, yeah, you're gonna say Hunter. You're gonna say Gene T.
Yep.
You're gonna put just them two.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I hear some people talk about Shador, but if you're gonna, Shador's not quite at Travis Hunter's level.
Yeah,
so.
no, he don't. Got
okay,
it.
so yeah, you put it between Gene T and the running back from Boise State and Travis Hunter, who goes both ways.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I listen to Dan Patrick a lot, and he talks about how he was once a voter and stuff like this for different awards. And you just look at, it's supposed to be the best college football player. Okay. Sometimes you got to look at the name of the award, whether it's an MVP. Well, now we're talking about value. How much value do they bring to what? To their team, to the league, to the sport, whatever. And it gets different. Heisman is just simple. The best.
Yep.
The best. However you determine best. Travis Hunter's doing something very few athletes have ever done. No one ever did it better than Bo Jackson doing multi-sport, I guess. Travis Hunter's going both ways. I really couldn't tell you who it's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't have an opinion. Heck, Caleb Johnson was doing, he was kind of up there with Gene T for a while.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I think it's going to be close. I don't know how they determine that, who votes or what.
Honestly, politics is probably not actual politics, but I bet you there's going to be some politics going on behind it because they're going to look at Travis Hunter and Colorado and Prime and all that. And some of the voters might be all for highlighting that and some might say no.
I don't like this.
Too much flash or whatever. But when you just put, okay, what did Hunter do? What did Gene T do? I say either one of them get it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, they both. Yeah, I'm a huge Travis Hunter fan though.
Yeah,
because I follow him on TikTok. He's a huge celebrity too.
Okay,
like he's TikTok famous and.
So I'm not. I follow some stuff. I know Prime's got some good like Christian men on staff, and he's got a lot of good he does a lot of discipline stuff. He doesn't let them wear sagging pants. He doesn't, he makes them carry themselves with honor. Is Hunter, is he a Christian? Has he said anything about faith or anything?
I think he is a Christian, actually. He doesn't talk a lot about it. Most of the things he only talks about is fishing.
Fishing? He's a good old boy.
Yeah, like he goes and fishes.
Okay.
Like after football or anything, he fishes. Or he plays a video game. And he's been dating this girl that he's been with since high school.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so like he's a good kid. Like people are like, oh, Prime and Colorado football, I don't know.
It is a little flashy, but if you look into it, there's way more
they're really
to it.
Good people.
Mm-hmm. Ben Hogan was sending me stuff about their I think I've said it before on here, but like director of player development. Yeah. And this guy's all about morals, foundation, how to carry yourself, how to treat other people and stuff like that. And you can kind of see it. I remember that Randy Moss was kind of the same way. He got in a lot of trouble when he was younger, but he's just a West Virginia boy. He's always doing fishing tournaments and stuff like that. And that's good. Yeah. Yeah. It'd be cool to see how it comes out, but so, dude, I want to thank you for coming on. It was a lot of fun. I knew it was going to be a good discussion. I'm glad we got it done. I'm positive you encouraged some people today with your personality, with your story, with our conversation today. Hopefully you encourage some of your peers. I want young people to look at other young people and have somebody to look to, you know what I mean, as a good example. So to my audience, have you guys caught yourself looking around and asking, like, what is up with some of this stuff? You know, usually I cite something negative right here, something that's really got me thinking, but sometimes it's a good thing, you know, like asking a high school kid to come on your podcast. It's a good thing. It surprises you. One good thing I noticed recently looking around was 7 Weeks Coffee. This dude starts this coffee subscription company, calls it 7 weeks, because at 7 weeks, a baby is the size of a coffee bean. And he says, I'm going to give 10% of my proceeds off the top to pro-life pregnancy resource centers. And I'm like, that's something I can get behind. I'll pay a little bit more for my coffee, knowing that some of it is going to go to diapers, formula, resources for moms who maybe are in unplanned or even unwanted pregnancies at the moment. Okay. I like that stuff. That should hit home for us all right now, because what season are we in? We're in the Christmas season, and there was no greater unplanned pregnancy than Mary with Jesus. It's been 2,000 years ago, and we're still talking about it. We're still celebrating it. Okay, it's a big deal. You can read all about it in the first couple chapters of the Gospel of Luke. I encourage you to do that. Read chapters 1 and 2. There's your Christmas story. It's really good. Another thing for me recently was coming across these 3 triplet brothers on social media who are serious wrestlers like Dallas and serious about their faith. They're posting stuff all the time. Good content, good stuff for young people, good stuff for older people like me. Gage, Caden, and Till Helms. They know what is up. Check out 3-in-1 Trilogy on Instagram. Okay? I'm with those boys. We think that the Bible gives the best answers, the best explanations for all of life's questions. If you need help or you want to know more, you can join me any Sunday at FBC in Dunkerton or online on our Facebook page. If you're not in the area, you'll get some truth, I promise you. You can email me, whatisuppodcast@gmail.com, and I will personally share the gospel with you so you can know for sure that God is real and that he loves you and wants a relationship with you. Even you, no matter who you are, what you've done, what you're doing, where you've been, he wants a relationship with you. That's why he came to earth the way he did 2,000 years ago. Okay, that's why we were created, but we got to choose him. Okay, that's where hope, joy, and peace, the best things in life, that's where it comes from. Nothing else is going to satisfy. You can waste your whole life trying to be satisfied. If you ain't got Jesus, it ain't going to happen. I promise you, you're always going to be wanting. If you haven't figured it out by now, there's nothing on this earth that'll satisfy us completely or permanently. There's nothing else you can put your hope in. People are letting us down all the time. No person, no government, no politician, no preacher. Nobody's perfect except for that one guy, Jesus. We got to look up. So if you're listening or watching on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, be sure to follow, leave a 5-star review and a comment, answer our poll question. Or if you're watching in high definition on YouTube, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. That's the like button. Leave a comment. Okay. Then share it with everyone you know. I welcome feedback, questions, comments, even criticism. I don't like criticism. Did you take criticism very well, being in all them sports?
I mean, it hurts. It hurts. I'm a very sensitive person, but
okay.
You get used to it over time.
You do. Sometimes you know you need it, but when you don't, it hurts.
Like, I thought I was doing great. I thought this was great. And then you're like, no, it's not.
No.
It's like, oh my gosh.
But yeah, I just want to hear from you guys. I want to get some traction going. Let's go. Send me what you think. You got ideas, send them to me. You got some Christmas memories you want me to try and sneak in for the next episode. We got one more before Christmas. That's it. Okay, I love it. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope it really encouraged you. Lord willing, I'll talk to you on the next one.